Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sedelia NJ show. I am your host, Sedelia NJ. Hope you guys like my musur. We call it in Wolof. We call it a musur. I know some cultures, they call it gile. I know in Nigeria. But this is my musur, guys. So you guys gotta let me know what you think about it. I'm really excited to have you all joining me this evening. We have a really special show lined up for you this evening. Our special guest tonight is DJ Razak, obviously DJ, music producer, and founder of Echo Electronic. So as he himself would say, yes, it is a genre. And tonight we're going to learn more about that genre, and he's also going to tell us, we're going to learn a little bit why he's so boldly stands out from other DJs. So before we bring him in, he is in the building. I want us to take some time to do our checkup from the neck up. As you guys know, you know the drill by now. I always want to check in with us to see how we're doing in terms of our mental health. Okay, so we have a self-assessment that we do. We've worked on a couple of different aspects on previous episodes, and today I want us to focus about whether or not we are exercising self-care in the workplace and professional self-care. Okay, so again, the scale is 1 to 5, 1 being, and be honest, answer the statements, be very honest with yourself. It's okay. You can type your answers in the comments if you'd like. If you'd want to keep it for yourself personal, that's okay. That's your journey, honey. Just be honest with yourself, all right? But it'd be nice. I'd love to see kind of the comments to see and make sure you guys are checking up from the neck up. Very good. So 5 is frequently. All the time. I do it. 1 is, it never occurred to me. I have no idea what you're even talking about. Okay. So today, again, last week we did physical self-care, psychological self-care prior to that, emotional self-care prior to that, and spiritual self-care. So today I want us to look at workplace or professional self-care. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Very good. Do you take a break during the workday? Do you take a break during the workday? On a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being frequently, 1 being it never occurred to me. Be honest with yourself. Very good. Do you take a break during the workday? All right. Do you take time to chat with your coworkers or to get to know your coworkers better? Okay. Do you take time to chat with them? Not always business. Very good. Thank you for that response, Ella. That's real. That's real. All right. Do you make quiet time to complete tasks? Ooh, that's a good one. Do you make quiet time to complete tasks on a scale of 1 to 5? Very good. Amazing. Okay, do you identify projects or tasks that are exciting and rewarding? All right, within your work environment, are you identifying projects or tasks that are exciting and rewarding? Very good. Thank you for sharing your comments with us, Ella. Right? That's real. You guys got to be honest. Thank you so much. Yes, for those of you joining me, thank you. Welcome to the Sedelia NJ show. We're doing a little bit of a mental self-assessment, what I like to call my checkup from the neck up. All right. So this question, are you setting limits with your clients and colleagues? Are you setting limits with your clients and colleagues? Boundaries, man. Boundaries are everything. Boundaries are everything. Very good. Do you balance your caseload so that no one day or part of a day is too much? Are you balancing your day so that it's not too much? Okay. Balance. Très important. Do you arrange your workspace so it's comfortable and comforting? This is really important, I realize, especially for most of us who are working from home still. You want to make sure that you are comfortable. Yes, it is tough to limit when you're working from home. I'm assuming you're speaking of the question prior to that. Yes, trying to keep a balance. That's true. That is true. I struggle with that. This is why you got to do these check-ins. Yep, you got to do these check-ins. Okay, do you get regular supervision or consultation? Some of y'all need to be supervised. I don't know. I didn't say it. They did. Okay. Do you negotiate for your needs? Do you negotiate for your needs? If you're unhappy with how things are going, this includes benefits or a pay raise or time off, okay? Do you negotiate for your needs? And are you being honest with your employer about those needs? That is your right. That is your right. Okay, do you have a peer support group? Scale of 1 to 5. Do you have a peer support group? No true supervision. But yeah, some of us are pretty, autonomous. We don't need supervision. Absolutely. Some of us don't need that. Thank you for joining us, LA. Welcome. We're doing a mental self-assessment checkup from the neck up. And for those of us who are bad at negotiating their needs, you better evaluate that. You better work on it. Closed mouths don't get fed, honey. I said it. Okay. Do you develop a non-trauma area of professional interest? Be honest. Are you developing a non-trauma area of professional interest? We already have enough trauma going on in our life. We don't need that from work. Huh? Hello? Okay. Very good. Amazing. How'd you guys do? How'd that feel? How'd you guys do with the self-assessment? Was it okay? Did you find that you guys had a balance, or there were some things that you definitely felt like you were low? You had a lot of ones and twos and needed to work on stuff. I saw a lot of threes, so that's not so bad. That means you're aware. It's rarely, but at least you're aware. At least you're aware. Amazing. Well, we're going to move forward. Our special guest is in the building. I'm not going to hold it any longer because I'm really excited to get into this interview. Thank you all for joining me. This episode of the Sedelia and Jai Show is sponsored by Tandem Media. It is based here in Toronto. Unfortunately, for those of you who do not live in Toronto, you cannot take advantage of their services. But for those of you who are here, Tandem Media is a studio space in Mississauga. Book them for your studio needs. I have a promo code for you guys to use where you can get 30% off of your first booking. If you go to the Tandem Media handle, you'll see it right here, and there's also their website. If you book with the code SN Show, okay, SN Show, all together for Sedelia and Jai Show, guys. I just gave you a little secret. That's your little promo code, all right? So make sure you take advantage of that and you use that. All right, let's bring in our special guest. I'm so excited. We are ready. Can I have some claps if you guys are ready for DJ Razak? Let's get those claps in if you guys are ready. All right, we're going to bring him in. Razak!
What's up?
AKA, I'm going to steal Sarah's Pineapple Poppy. Can you tell them why they call you Pineapple Poppy?
Oh, I almost fucked that up. 2 minutes in. 2 seconds in.
It's okay. Get it together. This is the Sedelia and Jai Show.
Yeah, I just want to raise it up a little bit. Yeah.
We can see you. We see you well. Tell us what's going on, Pineapple Poppy.
I'm good. I'm chilling. Thanks for having me on the show. How are you?
It's my pleasure. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Nice. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Amazing. How's everything been going? How you been coping with COVID?
Pretty well actually. At least to the best of my ability, I would say. It's I always try to find like positives in everything, right? So for me,
absolutely,
I lost all this work, I lost all this money, I lost all these, momentum, I'd say. But I'm like, sometimes, if the universe doesn't give us that, we're not going to take that time to reset and fall back and actually do things that are so like beneficial to ourselves. So
absolutely,
it sucked, but I didn't mind it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said it sucked, but I didn't mind it. It was all right.
I was really productive. I was extremely productive. I came out of it stronger for sure and got a lot accomplished. I think
nice.
That most people would feel that way. A lot of people that I speak with, they feel the same way. That a lot of positivity has come out of it.
100%.
I kind of want to jump right in because I really enjoy the work you do and your sets.
Appreciate it.
And yes, I'm a fan. And
Thank you.
I'm so curious, as I'm sure viewers are, about your love affair with music. So could you kind of tell us how that started, how that journey started?
Well, I've literally since I was a kid, man. Like I've always been the guy to, I've always recorded music from. I've just always like music was just like a constant in my household. Whether it's from the cassette tapes, compilations, or it was just something like my earliest memories of life was like basically around music, like straight up. It sounds cliche, but like, I don't come from a musical family where my mom plays the violin and my dad was a jazz singer. It's like no, like I don't come from that. It's like right. We're just like music consumers. Like that was like a big thing in our household. Like we just always enjoyed music. And yeah, like that just sort of stuck with me. I grew up to I started as a kid, and I just enjoyed making like mixtapes. Whether it's recording from the radio, like I don't know. I'm 33, so I don't know if the I don't know if the
Those are the
cats
good
know
old
what
days.
we
Some
used
of
to
them
do. We used
youngins,
to
they
have
don't
to
know,
hit
honey.
like we used to have to hit the record and the play buttons at the same time,
Nah.
to record straight from the radio, and you time it after. I'm sorry, I have like a pretty crazy dog here. It's gonna go nuts soon. But so like it all started from that, then I just sort of like became, the go-to guy for like, like music and stuff like that, like in
Right.
schools and stuff, like, yeah, just there was just this obsession of, being the guy with the new track, to the point that I used to go into school on Mondays and make up songs that didn't even exist just because I knew no one would guess it. And you just give me that slight edge. And I'm like, yeah, you haven't heard this
Yes.
song? I'm like, so bad, but they're like, ah, crap. I think one guy did say he heard the song, and I was just like, oh, you fucking liar. But I couldn't call him out,
You're like, you don't have what I got going on. Where do you know that song from?
you know. But
So
yeah,
you
no, that
like
was
this
it.
kind of having like the exclusive and the hits and something that's something that people needed or wanted.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of, yeah, just bringing something either new or
Right.
different,
Right.
and that's just anything fresh, really, like that's kind of the goal, you
I
know.
think you'd safe to say mission accomplished. You definitely
Oh,
bring definitely something new and fresh, especially as we get into the interview. We'll talk more about your eco electronic movement. But
thank you
when did the
so much.
transition go from your old school mixtapes to then DJing? How did you start DJing?
Um, well, I used to bar back at this club
Hmm.
years ago, and
Yeah.
it was kind of like I liked it, because I liked the bar scene and all that stuff. That was like, my entry into like that nightlife. And it was all cool and all, and I have a lot of respect for like these DJs that used to play there, like, great DJs. But I just sort of like noticed, sometimes you just kind of like really have to play to the crowd, and I noticed like,
Right.
the music was usually repetitive, and
Hmm.
I was not a fan of that, like in terms of, it was always like the safe hits, like the top 40 hits, the songs
Right.
that, I don't know, like I just felt like, no one was really playing anything I didn't know, and
Hmm.
and
Did
this
you
is
feel like some of the DJs are playing it too safe?
I would say for sure, but like once again, no judgments, but I was always kind of like, like let's these things need to get spiced up a little bit, right?
Right.
And this is, I had, bear in mind, like, growing up, recording all these mixtapes and doing all these like little things and all that stuff. Like I never once thought, I don't think I even pretend DJ'd, like it was not
Right.
really a thing that ever clicked to me, and
Hmm.
like while working at that spot, I was just like, you know what, like, I think I'm gonna be a DJ because, I think I can bring
Original
something
and
different,
different.
yeah.
Hmm.
So that was basically how that started. And, I was fortunate enough to, be cool with like the guys that owned the club, and, they just gave me a night there, they let me throw my own parties and stuff, which, was, it's, half the work right there. So,
Right.
so that was kind of cool. It's kind of cool, yeah. But yeah,
That's
that's basically how we started.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. And as you said, also shout out to you for recognizing and spotting opportunity. I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
something else that a lot of people could benefit from in hearing this conversation as well. And I'm not surprised that you're like, this needs to be a little more lit because as a Nigerian, you guys are always lit for sure.
Oh
So we
yeah.
definitely want
Oh
to
yeah.
energy. I know about that. So you were born and raised in Lagos, correct?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, how do, how do you feel like your culture has served as a musical influence?
Um, it's definitely like being born and raised in Lagos. Like, the energy is different. It's like, the energy is different.
Oh yeah, it's a whole vibe.
It's constant. And whether it's yeah, it's a vibe. And like,
Yeah,
it's not only, clearly it's influenced the whole world now. But
clearly.
but being from there, like it's like I said, man, it's just something that's it's heavy in our culture. Like whether you go to man, you could go to like a funeral service. There's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
band there. There's going to be music. There's going to be
Mm. Mm-hmm.
everything is a celebration. Like we
Right.
celebrate literally everything. And yeah, like I feel like I sort of like try to take like that mindset into a lot of things, right? Which is part being like not like seeing the positives in a lot of situations, whether it's negative, like COVID, for instance. I
Right.
low key, even though the shittest situation, I still found a way to celebrate it in a way. So
Right.
I would say that would probably be a big takeaway from my culture, like the fact that we are literally able to laugh, dance, and celebrate through everything. So
Mm. Yeah, that's definitely a good point as well. And speaking kind of the impact that kind of Nigerian culture has had in music. I know you have some really interesting thoughts about the whole Afrobeats movement and genre. Would you mind sharing a little bit of that of your views
oh,
with us today?
oh yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I feel like it's well, I saw the whole like rise and like
Mm-hmm.
which in a way like a perfect example. Growing up in Lagos in the '90s when obviously there was Afrobeat with like Fela in the '70s and '80s, right?
Right.
But in the '90s, all the guys back then, like literally, they were doing like American music, like urban music, like that, like hip hop and stuff like that. Like that was what they were remixing and like they're trying to sound American. So
Mm.
I went through like that whole phase, which was cool. Like I have like they put out bare bangers in that era, like amazing
Right.
tracks. Till this
Yeah, I remember
fa-
the start of that as well. Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, it was a massive thing. And you know I'm gonna get to my point, but like fast forward to like Beyonce's latest album.
Right.
You hear Jay-Z say stuff like, oh, I'm in Lagos bumping Fela Kuti. It's like I'm like, holy
Right.
shit, like now he's trying to be like
Right.
us. Like
Right.
we grew up trying to be like him. Now he's trying to be like us.
Right.
What's going on?
That's incredible.
Yeah, so it's like like that was such a mind trip for me. But I would say right now the current state of Afrobeats is definitely in a great spot. I like where it's come to, but I think that there needs to be a better like distinctions in like the genres, whether
Mm.
it's whether they call like Afro pop or I know some people call a certain
Right.
sound Afro fusion, but
Right.
what everyone's calling Afro beats. I feel like it's I can't say it's definitely not saturated. I just feel like sometimes a lot of times it tends to sound very similar, just in terms of I don't know why, I don't know how, but it's yeah, it's like I don't know. I just have maybe because I'm also born and raised there, it's like
Sure. You're
I
listening with
hold
a different ear. Yeah.
yeah, I hold these guys to like such a high regard, right? And
Hmm.
yeah, like but once again, that's just me. I've always been a fan of like different sounds. Like something fresh. And
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah, and
that.
speaking of those sounds, as you said, it's true and it's reflected in your work because you have this really interesting and great crossover sound that's house meets Afro beats, right? And yeah, I think we can start to kind of talk a little bit about the eco electronic movement and where that stems from and kind of what that looks like.
Yeah, well, Eco Electronic. Well, Eco is Lagos. Like that's Lagos in my native language, Yoruba, and electronic is
Okay.
electronic. Yeah, so yeah, it's basically like electronic music inspired by Lagos. Like literally, that's what it means. You know, I've always been a fan of house music. I've loved electronic music. I actually started DJing that way before I dipped into like the Afro stuff. To be honest, like that was like my style. Um, And for the same reason, I didn't really DJ a lot of the Afro stuff, just because you know, I didn't, especially places I was playing at, it just wasn't this. I don't know. We'll get to that another time. But yeah, it just
Yeah.
wasn't. It just wasn't the same like tempo, the same energy in a sense, right? So I've always liked house music, and I've always loved like my African music too.
Nice.
So basically, like eco electronic is me just being able to play, you know basically two of my favorite genres,
Hmm.
and make it, and like sort of like make it into a thing, rather
And
than
the
having
sounds
to.
go so well together too.
It's unreal,
Right.
it's a no-brainer. Like,
Mm.
you put like, a good Afro beats a cappella on literally almost any electronic music production. It's gonna sound fire.
Yeah,
It,
also because the artists themselves, right? Their voices are instruments, as you had pointed out to me, themselves. So
uh,
that's what's so interesting about that genre. Hmm.
100%. And yeah, I think to that point too, I think that's why Afrobeats is very successful. Just be like, I think for that specific reason, because in in I feel like, let me compare this to hip hop. Hip hop,
Hmm.
I want to say, the producer probably carries, for the average stuff, at least the stuff coming out now, I'd say the producer carries, you know, probably 80% of the beat. You have like, the artists, it's like, yeah, they have like that sound or whatever, but I don't know. I feel
I mean,
like
I
with
love a
Af
good artist, but yeah, it
I,
wouldn't be done without the producer. The
yeah,
song is
but I feel like
banging.
with Afro beats, like those guys, like, you could give them like, the most minimal kind of instrument, but like the way they sing, the way they have like the voice, like it's legit an instrument. And I feel like that's why their sounds like resonate a lot more. Like you literally play Afro beats almost anywhere now, like it would make sense, so.
I remember when I heard it in an elevator, like a business lobby. I was like, "What's happening right
Yeah,
now?"
yeah. It's like their voices are definitely instruments, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Thank you for those of you joining us, and again, you guys kind of know the structure. Unfortunately, we kind of continue through the interview. I don't interact with you guys with your comments, but I do see you. Y'all know I love y'all. We just trying to focus. It's all about Razak right now.
Whoop,
But
whoop.
we see you and we appreciate you guys tuning into the show. We're here with our special guest DJ Razak, and as you guys see here, he's just told us about Echo Electronic, but this is your latest EP.
Yeah,
Saying Echo Electronic is a genre. I love that, very self-explanatory. Yeah, it's true. It is. It
it is.
exists.
Yeah.
I love it. So how did you kind of come up with the mashups? Because honey, they are bangers.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Um,
Party after party, go mashup the place.
yeah. Said, appreciate that. First of all, I'd like to say, that I wouldn't call them. Um, yeah, I feel like there's some terminologies a lot of people, you know,
Oh, please, you are
mashed
the
together.
man to correct us.
Yeah,
Please
so,
do.
a mashup is basically when you put two songs together,
Okay.
and like edits and remixes are super similar. There's usually like some production involved,
Of
but
course.
remixes is definitely way more production, which is, you literally flipping the entire track. Whether it's like I usually tend to just use the acapellas for the most part. If
Okay.
I'm using like other instruments from the originals, I try to like make it interesting, right? So I definitely do more remixes, which involves a lot more like music production.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, how I come up with these remixes is, these are songs that I genuinely really like, like these are like, songs that I just really like, and I just want to be able to play them in a club space when I have the opportunity to, right? But
Yeah.
sometimes, the tempo dip could be a little bit too much. Like a lot of these songs are naturally slow, so
Right.
imagine that like party's bumping, you really want to play, like that Burna Boy Collateral did Damage,
Yes.
it's an amazing song. The first time I heard that song, man, like I couldn't do anything for like 2 days, I
Mm,
just, that's
mm.
all I could hear,
Yeah. Shout
but
out to Inspiration. Yeah.
legit,
Yeah.
but the thing is, you can't like those songs. You can't just throw it anywhere. Like
Right.
when things are like on the up and up, right? Unfortunately, unless you're in a specific kind of party, then it's all gravy, right?
Right.
But yeah, so like that's usually the main reason why I work on these remixes, and yeah, just reimagining these tracks like in a different landscape, and just seeing where I can take them, like how different I can make them sound, and yeah, just
How
having.
would you say you listen to music though? How would you describe that?
Um, it depends, there's certain songs like I guess because like a DJ quite a very like different kind of events. I tend to like do this like automatic filter in my head, so it's like I hear a
Hmm.
song, I'm like, oh, this song is great. So like I'm automatically like putting them in folders, and it's like whether this song is it's gonna be great to like listen for myself, or this song is gonna be great at this venue, this song is gonna be great at this party. Or sometimes you hear a song, you're like, oh shit, this song doesn't really have, uh like a proper bass line or like a
Right.
proper beat behind it.
Mm.
And I'm just like, oh fuck, I can definitely remix this, and I can add those it's like things like that. So I'm always trying to just to music in a very broad way. It's not usually all personal consumption for me. I'm always thinking about where these songs would go, like the best place to play them, what I could do with it, or how it'd sound if I like stretched it out to like this, to
Mm.
this other thing. So yeah, I'd say.
And I know a large part of that too is research too, right? Like I know DJs have to acquire a large library of music and constantly research sounds, from past hits to what's just keeping up with. I know that you're staying away from trendy and popular, but let's say you're recreating, finding another way to kind of incorporate that in
Yeah.
a fresh way. But for the beginner DJ, let's say, how does one acquire this musical repertoire and the knowledge without feeling overwhelmed?
Um, it's I would say that is probably like a good 60 to 70% of the work right now. Like if you plan on starting out as a DJ, yeah, it's a dig in, man. Like for the first like couple years, like my first 2 hours of every day, I had like at least like 9 to like 12 tabs of different music blogs. I used to just click on to the point where the writers and stuff like that, and that's how I used to like get music back. But to be honest, back then, Spotify is not like what Spotify is today.
Right.
You know, it was
Absolutely.
literally like all SoundCloud based, and literally
Mm.
used to have to go on blogs to see like different write ups and stuff like that. But yeah, no, like I say that to say, the first 2 hours of my days for a long time was constantly looking for fresh new music. You know, I did have a lot of music before I started DJing because I've literally collected music all my life.
Exactly. You loved it. That's the thing too. Yeah, that's another point. I think people kind of think sometimes too that things just kind of produce themselves overnight, right? But
No,
right.
no, and I would say like if like for the newer DJs looking to start up, I'd say maybe look into, unless you want to be like a party DJ, like
Sure.
you can just literally like you can find like the popular music and the top 40 music, and you could rock any club like straight up. But if you want to be a DJ to play certain tracks that you really enjoy listening to, then I'd like to believe you'd wanna we live in an era where you could team up with like one or two people and throw
Yeah.
like your own jam, and like sort of like invite people to your world rather than
Mm.
you catering to the norm in a sense. I feel like
Mm.
that's how, and you can branch out from there. You can start doing like more popular like spots and play like more popular music, I guess. But I feel like that is probably pure that is probably the best way to um to get started,
Yeah,
I'd say.
that's
Pure
great advice.
bangers is said.
Facts. That's really great advice. Thank you for that. And I think what I want to know most, and I'm sure everyone really wants to know that. And how do you find your identity in an industry where it's so easy to do exactly what you spoke about too, a little bit of just doing what's popular, what everyone else is doing. How did you like? I think that's a part of what sets you apart from other DJs, at least that I've known.
Sorry, I spaced out for a second. What was the question
It's
again?
like I'm focused. Where you at? We're right. Is it the gala? Is it my gala? Is it distracting
It's
me?
the
Is this
gele, yo.
beautiful? I'm over here too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract you. All right. No, yeah, I was saying how do you find your identity in an industry where it's so easy to kind of lose yourself or to just do what's popular? How do you stay original?
Um, Honestly, like,
Or not be tempted to grab, like to because it's still when you're introducing something new to people, it can still be difficult, I think, at times. So and some artists, if they're not, it's not for the, what do they say, the weak-hearted or the
yeah.
faint-minded.
Like,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, like, I feel like like, for me, this has been like a very like slow process, and I'm nowhere close to where, like, I'd like to be. Like, like, I'm very happy with where I am, but like, like, the goal is still, I can see it, but like, I'm still working towards it slowly. And it's been a very like slow process in terms of, it's been like a lot of trial and error. Um,
Hmm.
I've played tons of parties, like just different parties that, an hour in, I'm just like, oh fuck, like, like is the money, like, you start psyching yourself out. You're like, is the money even this good? It's like,
Right.
you're just not, but I've learned to, try to like, enjoy myself regardless of like, like where I'm playing, if I'm not like super down or whatever, right? But you know, I've also tried to align myself in a way where, like, I'm playing like spaces where, I could, like, actually like experiment a little bit, I could do my thing. Um I could play the songs that I feel you need to hear, whether it's like my productions or whether it's my friends' productions. And honestly, shout out to Toronto, man. Like, Toronto has,
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like it's a started like producing, like, I'm seeing like, a lot of like, like, just dope, like, a lot of like creatives just really doing the thing, like, DJs and
Absolutely.
producers. It's like artists, there's a few of them in the
Yeah,
chat
artists in
room.
general. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I see Kush in here, Mike Truth, Damage. It's like everyone is staying busy. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like
The
living in
energy is infectious. I got here and just it's infectious.
it's like, it's like being surrounded by, constant creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it definitely helps you,
Absolutely.
it helps you keep
Absolutely.
going. It's like, oh fuck, it's like, I have to, it's like, these are things I need to do for myself anyways, right? But like, seeing like my peers, like, people you have respect for, you know do it, with like so much passion also. It's like, fuck, I have to, like, make sure I'm sitting down like, 4 to 6 hours, for this session, and like,
Right. Level up.
following through with it legit.
Yeah.
And not just like the musicians too, man, like just like, like artists, like, um like, my friends, Shay and Charles Oka, like, like my friend Maria, she just started like an art line. It's like everybody, my boy Martins, it's like everybody's just like on, like a dope wave, and it's like everyone is constantly creating, constantly thinking, and it's like, you're just like, oh shit, like, no, no time to be chillaxing, and so
Yeah.
it's like you have to, like,
It keeps
the
you on your toes for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's. I would have to agree with you, Raz. Like that's one of the things I think I love most about being in this space too. You know, I that makes me just want to hear your new single. You have your new single out. What about me,
Oh
Joe?
yeah.
Am I
Oh yeah.
saying it?
You said it right. You said it right.
Dang, what about me, Joe?
Yeah, no, Wabami Joe means come dance with me in Yoruba. And
Nice.
yeah.
Do you have a little bit of it queued up that we can listen
Yeah,
to?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's
Let's see.
play some of it for us.
I think I have like a 30-second thing going in. Let me throw this. I think everybody just saw my password.
Who stole your password? What? Someone stole your password?
I said, I said everybody just saw my password.
No, we didn't see
I,
anything. Don't
I
worry.
get it.
We didn't see anything.
Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear it. And you said, why about me? Just what? Let's party?
Come dance with me.
Come dance with me.
Yeah.
That's a whole vibe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the new single Wabami Joe
Where
out
can
on
tell them where they can go and download it? I know it's on
literally
iTunes for sure.
on every platform.
Every
So like
platform.
iTunes, Spotify, yeah, whatever streaming service you use, Amazon, YouTube,
You
Google,
guys go cop that, honey.
whatever.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Go
go
cop
copy,
that.
go copy it. Tell your friends. Hope you vibe with it. You know.
And
Yeah.
I love your music too because I can do it. I listen to it when I'm doing any activity.
Oh,
Like
sick.
it just gives me hype, especially when I gotta get through those hard workouts too, honey.
Nice, nice.
You give me life, literally.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely.
Preach, preach.
And so tell us a little bit about the inspiration for this latest track, love.
Um, to be honest, actually, like it started off like like kind of like a darker track.
Yeah.
It's yeah, like I think I might have the pads I was gonna start it with here.
Uh-huh.
Um, let me see if I can. I'm just gonna solo
Thank
it.
you all of you joining us. We're here with DJ Razak on the Sedelia NJ show. We're so grateful for you guys for tuning in.
So do you hear this?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of sadish, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's what it started off with, and I was like, I was very much. This is when those fucks killed George Floyd, the Central Park thing happened. And I was just like I was
You're
just
in a
super
dark
like
place,
I was like super like overwhelmed
for
with
sure.
like emotion and shit. And so like sort of like started from that. And so this track was supposed to be, like
So was that process cathartic for you? Like kind of feeling overwhelmed like that and then coming into, yeah, was that even like a healing process for you?
I think so, man. I feel like this song like 100% helped me get over that whole situation because
Yeah.
this was gonna be, like I was gonna layer this with like like riot chants and stuff like that, and like, like that was
Mm-hmm.
what I was gonna go with, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like as something changed, man, as I kept on working on it, um, I don't know why I decided to use the steel drums. You can't have steel drums on a track and not let it be a happy song. I was just like, ah,
Right.
crap.
Calypso vibes.
So I was like, crap, but yeah, no, I'm happy. Shaq's in the house. I'm
Hey.
happy with the with how it turned out, and yeah, it was. I've actually not thought about it like that, but I think it was 100% like a healing thing for me for sure. Like to go from that, where I was when I started the track, for it to come out like basically like the happiest track I've ever produced, like in terms of like feel good summer kind of shit, and I was like, huh,
Yeah.
cool, so
And I think we need that coming out of that darkness. I think, it's super appropriate. Everyone,
yeah.
we need that moment. We need to celebrate and dance and remember And be grateful because there's a lot of bad in the world. It's important to remember some of the good.
100%.
And you're bringing that to people's ears for sure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys go ahead and cop that. And, before we kind of wrap things up, I guess I just kind of want to ask you, if you're having kind of any last words for your viewers and your audience. I know a lot of people, COVID's been traumatic for a lot of us. And then, of course, this Black Lives Matter movement, but we're still pushing forward and we're moving forward. And we're so grateful for you for being here with us tonight. Do you kind of have any last words for guests, just in terms of, how they can keep persevering and pushing forward?
Um, yeah, it's like, I don't, at the end of the day, it's things are not that bad, it's especially if you live in
Especially here in Canada now. Just
no, legit, it's like it sucks, I'm sure a lot of us lost a lot of, a lot of things, a lot of opportunity, um, a lot of money, you know, 2020 for me and like a lot of people I know was
right.
our year. This was
That's what really messed me up. Everyone's like,
this
yeah, this year I'm gonna do great. Like, what?
yo this was the level up year, yo. Like you don't even
I don't
understand. Like
understand.
like
Like, the universe
this
didn't want us to be great. What's
this
happening?
this was the level up year, and
Yeah.
same to like a lot of like my peeps. But honestly, man, like you just have to, take a step back, just be like, yo, like it's not
Yeah.
that bad.
And I don't know if it was that. This is kind of random, but a little history lesson. Like, in Senegal, we have this saying, kind of this expression in our culture of like chat. They call it chat, which is like, I don't know, if you speak too much of something and like you speak too much about your plans, like when you're plotting and planning, and in order for it to manifest, it's supposed to be a very intimate and private process. So, spiritual wise. So I think I wondered if there was a little bit of that going on too. Everyone was just claiming so much, all the big things they had going
Oh
on.
my
These are
God,
like,
they're
yeah, no,
like
we're gonna shut that
2020,
down
we
real quick.
getting it. Yeah, probably, because I don't know, man. It's just weird. Like, things were very much, like I feel like this was honestly gearing up to be a good year, but who knows, man? Everything happens for a reason. It sucks, but like, I got some time to like, chill out.
Yeah.
Got some
So are
time
you
to
gonna
like,
start? Are you slowly getting back into events? Or are you gonna like back in public? Are you have anything
yeah,
coming up you want to let us know
yeah.
about?
Well, I have been playing quite a bit in the last
Yeah.
like August and like some of the spots I've been playing at.
Yeah.
But those are not like parties, like more like I like playing a lot of like lounges. Like a lot of
Because
people
we're
don't
still
know
not
that.
technically allowed in the city, right, to kind of
Yeah, you can't have like
dance
a
in
big
public.
yeah, no. It's so funny because, like, recently, I saw these two girls get up to dance. I want to spot us playing that. Poor girls, they had their mask and everything, and security literally told them to go back to the seats. I was like, oh, fuck, this is
What?
embarrassing. Yeah,
No way.
yeah. So it's
Poor
like,
things.
I know, like, they walked all the way to the dance floor, and I was like, oh, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And they did, crap. But, yeah, it happens. And, but yeah, like, it's we also doing like, responsible like social distance
Yeah, I
public
like
out.
you had a really nice event in the park that I really enjoyed, that I came to. Stuff like
Yeah,
that's the whole vibe. And we're so
thanks for coming out to support.
yeah,
Appreciate that.
no, it was fun. You gotta have another one real quick.
Real soon, real soon, real soon. So yeah,
Yeah,
we also like, we're trying to, whatever we do decide to do, we want to make sure we're not being irresponsible, or we're not,
absolutely.
we're not pushing, because everyone has a different comfort zone, we're not, we don't want to come off as, ignorant to what's going on at all. This is something I take super serious.
That's part of
I
why I
walk,
really love Canada, right? Because it's not like this in the States. I'm from Chicago too, and I'm really my mom is. I'm very much concerned. They're not taking things as
mm,
seriously on that side. So I'm
yeah.
grateful to be here in Canada. It's a little
Good,
better.
good. Yeah, and I think we're doing all right. It's
Absolutely.
for the most part, yeah, we're just gonna do what we can, and
Right.
yeah, we'll hope for the best. But life does have to go on, so
For
we
sure.
have to start prepping for whether this is the new normal or whatever. But like you know, we do have to keep it moving, you know?
Absolutely.
Like
You heard
it's
it from
just
Razak himself. Yeah, life continues. You're absolutely right. And
yeah.
we keep pushing forward and pushing through. You guys make sure you go follow Razak if you're not. I'm so grateful for you guys for tuning in and joining us. And again, when you follow him, you'll also be able to get updates on the events that he has going on in the city. So make sure that you guys follow him and check that out. I'm so grateful for you. Merci, chérie. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
And
having
we'll
me.
see you
This is a
again real
pleasure.
soon.
Yes, real soon.
Absolutely. We'll get you back in here for a follow up.
All right, wicked, wicked.
Sounds good.
Appreciate you. Have a good one.
All
Thanks
right.
everyone for tuning in. I saw you guys all in chat. Shakti, Mike Truth. I think I saw Damage at some point.
Yeah, Dami came through.
Yeah. Brandon, I don't know if you're still in the house. So Tiff, shout out everybody. One love.
Hey, Judy, you're late,
Everybody stay
babe. You're
safe.
late. All right. Peace. Thank you, love.
Bye bye.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Sedalia and Jazz Show. What a great sit down with DJ Razak. Okay, now you know about Echo Electronic. Now you know it is a genre. You need to go cop that new single, Wababi Joe. You need to follow Razak. Man's the whole vibe. And I'm so grateful for you guys for tuning in and joining us. And keep your self-assessment in mind. Again, this episode of the Sedalia and Jazz Show is sponsored to you by Tandem Media. I'll see you guys next week.